Happy evening, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful to see all of you there. We can all come on camera so that we can see each other with a broad, beaming, welcoming smile. Lovely, lovely to see all you wonderful people out there. Fantastic. Thank you very much for being part of this wonderful journey where we are going to learn and change something in ourselves to become happy. That may sound a little unusual, but it's true. And we'll explore that as we proceed through this session. Yeah. Thank you for writing that. Can't hear. Is it true for all? Not able to hear. No camera. Yeah. So just if you can hear me, right here. Can hear. Okay. So many of you can hear. Just if you can check at your end, maybe some issue, some glitch, something to be fixed. Yeah. And in case you are watching or observing or attending the session from a mobile, you can just swipe it so that you can see the video or the slide as we go on to there. Yeah, can see and hear. Thank you very much for the responses. Wonderful, wonderful to see all of you out there. So first of all, let me welcome you all to this wonderful journey, what we call the Happy Brain Miracle Masterclass. And we are going for 3 days. Before we start, I would urge all of you to please mention your name and the city you are from in the chat box. That would give us a sense where you are from, which city you belong to at this point in time. Ankurji from Chennai. I can see from Bhubaneswar, from Bengaluru. Gopalji is from, Pramitaji from Bhubaneswar. iPhone, Ankurji from Chennai. Avijit from Mumbai. Welcome, Avijitji. Saurabh Rajuji from Pune, Jaju. Rabindranji from Bangalore. Kulu Manali. Neetaji is a wonderful place, chilled, right? Bangalore, Shrutiji is from, I can see a couple of Bangalore, Shamir and Archana from Bangalore. Vidya from Mumbai. Welcome, Vidyaji. Vananja from Bangalore. Prakashji from Mumbai. Ravi from Patna, Gurgaon. I can see all across the country, every part, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, Hyderabad, Guwahati. Guwahati also people are there from. Mumbai, Himachal, Bihar, Chennai, all across almost. Like mini India being represented out there. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Chamba, Archanaji from HP. Deepaji from Mumbai. Rajuji from Kerala. Great. Wonderful. So lovely to see all of you out there, and we are going to start this session. And this session, as we are going in for, as I mentioned, it is to explore into the domain of happiness. And not just that, we want to change something in ourselves. All those negative emotions like anxiety, worry, depressive feelings, all this, we will see how we can drive them out of us. That's what is our observation, our exploration. We'll try to get in there, understand at least what we can do so that we can bring in a change in our life. So yeah, I can see some people mentioning that audio is not coming. Please check at your end, but because most of the people are getting it, in case there is something at your end, you can just fix it. So great. Let me now bring in the slide so that we can be on track. Yeah, not to be distracted from the agenda that we have. Let me share this slide. And if everything is clear, you can see the slide, you can see me on one corner of your device, and also the audio is coming good. Just write AG, meaning all good. AG stands for all good. Lovely. I would be asking you to respond on the chat box. That will give me a lot of energy, a lot of love of yours. I need that as we go through the 3-day session. And that's what also will let me know that you are all with me in this journey. Thank you very much. Again, formally welcoming you all onto this wonderful journey, the Happy Brain Miracle Masterclass. 3 days. Every day will start at 7:30 in the evening. And before we proceed further, let me just have this question. Why this masterclass? This may be popping up in your mind. Why at all this masterclass? What's the reason? What is the purpose of this masterclass? There is a purpose, there is a reason, and that's what we will first bring on. There are millions and millions of people on this planet who are going through difficult situations like stress, anxiety, worry, sleeplessness, guilt, shame, depression, anger, irritation. The list goes on. And these are few of the emotions, few of the toxic mental conditions, as I put it, which snatch away our happiness. There are many things people think that it is because of something outside which is causing the problem. But science, as I have mentioned, science of happiness has found out this as the major reason for unhappiness, which says that it is not because of adversities, not because of bad fortune always, not because of lack of money all the time. It is because of primarily we have not learned how to be happy. We have not trained our brain how to be happy, how to be out of these conditions. If you resonate with me on this, just write A. A means agree. Short forms help, yeah? Just mention A on your chat box, saying that you agree with me on this, that mostly it is because of our inability to handle our mind effectively. If you agree, just write A. Wonderful, brilliant. Lovely to see all your responses really flooding in. Yeah, fantastic. Amazing. Brilliant. So this is what science is trying to tell us. But having said that, is there a way we can actually come out of it? Is there a way that we can train our mind, our brain to be happy? That's precisely what we are going to learn in these 3 days. That's precisely what we are going to explore into and understand. Not just that much, we'll also see how we can apply it and do some changes in ourselves. Does that sound fascinating? Does that sound very promising? Just write F and P, fascinating and promising. And it is truly is. Science of happiness is giving us those tools so that we can do it. Yeah, brilliant. Lovely. So having said that, this is our journey. That's what we are going to get into. By default, we'll see by default, our mind has a tendency to become anxious, to be worried, to be sorry about things, angry, fearful, restless, feeling guilty about things. All these are by default, by nature's design, it is like that, because that helps us survive ourselves. Tomorrow, we'll also look at the structure of our brain a little so that we appreciate, yes, this is a default condition. And now our job is, as human beings, our job is to shift gear, to change this and change it in a way so that our mind by default is calm, relaxed, organized, balanced, focused, joyful, blissful, and composed. And we can respond in a proper way as things come in our way. So that's what we are going to learn. That's what is our journey. That's what we are going to do in this whole masterclass. Yeah. I have been uttering this word, the science of happiness, few times. People ask me many times, is there actually a science called the science of happiness? There is. There is a science called the science of happiness. It's a new science, an emerging science. Last 30 odd years, this is really growing and many are doing research on this. Primarily, 4 areas of research or 4 areas of inputs are giving the science of happiness the power. Let's look at that a little before we proceed further. So, science of happiness is an emerging field of study, and it cuts across multiple domains, multiple disciplines. One is called the positive psychology, one branch of psychology which actually gives us the positive aspects of our mind. So that study is positive psychology, which is giving a lot of input to science of happiness. Cognitive neuroscience, again, another branch of neuroscience, which tries to figure out what is happening in our brain when we are doing something. When I'm speaking, what is happening in my brain? When I am angry, what is happening? When I'm sad, what is happening in my brain? Which part of the brain is active? When I'm not happy, what is it that is happening? And when I'm happy, what is it happening? So can I shift that? So cognitive neuroscience is giving a lot of input and insight, especially with the advent of the modern science, modern new gadgets. We can now understand and apply these things and make ourselves happy. Third one is called behavioral economics, one branch of economics, which is psychological aspect of economics, also giving a lot of input to science of happiness and Eastern meditative practices. Thankfully, science of happiness is a domain of science, which is now trying to breach the gap between science and the meditative practices, the spiritual practices. It's not religion. It's about the internal aspects of the ancient wisdom, which is being merged together with science. And that's the reason why it is becoming so fabulous and powerful. And the power of the science is giving two things. One, it can help us measure our internal state of happiness and to increase what they call this happiness set point. If I, on an average, remain at this level, can I go to this level? If I mostly become stressed, anxious, and having a kind of depressive feeling, can I switch it and become more joyful and more composed and harmonized inside? So that's what it also gives us, some tools which help and immensely help. So we will also explore into some of those aspects of the science of happiness. So this is a very empowering science and interesting science as well. Just write ES for empowering science. Yeah, someone was mentioning chat box is a little disturbing, but nevertheless, chat box help us to be in connect. I don't want it to be a monologue. Let's all be in that connect. Let's be in a mode of engagement with the session. Yeah? ES means it is an empowering science. It's not just a science where we research and explore and find something. It is empowering human beings to become happy in life, to choose that I do not want to have anxiety. I want to have joyful state of mind. Yeah, that is the power of this science. So it's empowering. Now, having said that, I was never in this journey. In fact, let me give you a little brief about myself. Would you like to know a little about myself? How my journey started, what I did, my background a little? Just mention yes if you want to. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the permission. So let me start how all this started, how I came in contact with the science. Now, I joined corporate in the year 1993 in a large, huge organization, in a public sector organization. And then I was very excited, doing a lot of good things, moving through my corporate career. But in between, something happened, and that was my health. At the age of 28, I was so stretched and stressed. I started taking blood pressure medicine. I was stressed, little anxious, and this also further increased to the level that I had very high cholesterol, high blood pressure, taking medicine on a regular basis. And 15 years into my journey, that means in 2008, I was having all problems, having anxiety, having stressful feeling, sometimes not getting the energy to work. Although I was trying and doing decent in other arenas, but still my mind was not in order. I was having a lot of internal disturbance and turbulence. And 2008, something happened which gave me a complete twist in my career. In 2008, October, with my family, I was on a pleasure trip to Jim Corbett National Park, and we had landed up there in a wonderful resort. And then in the afternoon, there was a group of people who are going for what they call the nature walk. On foot, we entered into the forest with a guide with us, group of people, and my son was with me. It so happened because of some communication gap, something happened. We were somehow got disconnected from the group. So we were lost in the jungle. And my son was with me. And he was very small that time. He was only 7 years old. And very fast, it was getting evening. Almost we are approaching evening. And there was a tiger nearby. That was almost like one of the scariest, most difficult moments that I had ever faced in my life. There was a jungle calling which ensured that the tiger was there, and tiger was probably within 40 meters range. And I was almost like falling down. I was about to fall down, and I was thinking everything is lost and gone because my younger son was very small. So my wife was not there with me. He was in the resort with younger son was only 1.5 years old. Elder one was 7 years old, and I was lost in that moment. Something amazing happened at that moment in time. One point, I was feeling like I was shivering, feeling like falling down, and that was the end of it. I was thinking everything is gone, lost. But somehow, because of some reason, suddenly my mind became very alert, calm, composed. I said, no, I have to stand up and do something about it. Then I recalled something that when the tiger is, I used to read a lot of Jim Corbett book in my early childhood. So in my school days, so I just recalled that tiger, if you make it feel that you are ready for a, you know that tiger is there, then it may not attack you. So I started talking at the peak of my voice and with all as if I'm alert, ready, and I know the tiger is there. So that thing I started. And fortunately, for some reason, somehow it was mysteriously, my mobile phone worked at that point in time. Probably that's the only time when my mobile phone in the forest, it worked. I connected to the resort, 2008, in the forest, it worked somehow, and flicker of signal. And I just said, rescue us, we are lost, and we are on a riverbed, dry riverbed. So just at the nick of time, the rescue team could come and help us. And we got saved from that extreme condition. And when we hopped up to the jeep, they just rotated the light, and tiger was hardly about maybe 40 meters from where we were stranded. And that day, something came. I mean, my mind said that I internally felt that life has to be explored in a very different way because mind has saved me today. Had I panicked, it would have been the end of my journey. And that moment, something happened. I became calm, composed. My response was very, very appropriate. I could even guide the rescue team to spot me by asking them to rotating a light so that I can tell, come in this direction. So all this could happen because of my mind. And after coming back, that time I was in New Delhi. After coming back to Delhi, I chose that I will explore into the mind and also explore into the domain of spirituality and energy fields. And that's what propelled me to get into this space. 2008 onwards, I actually applied to join from marketing. I was in marketing. I wanted to go to human resource development, to the training, and joined a management training institute of a corporate as a faculty. For more than 10 years, I worked as a faculty and worked with more than 10,000 senior level corporate executives to understand what is mind, to help them through. And that was my journey. And as it moved forward, 2016 got an opportunity to collaborate with IIT Kharagpur, who have the only major center of the science of happiness in India. Worldwide, all the major universities they have in Oxford, Cambridge, in Wharton, in all Yale and Toronto University, all of them have got wonderful. Harvard, they have got science of happiness centers. In India, IIT Kharagpur, they do have. I collaborated, and as an institute, we collaborated, and that helped me immensely to understand and create systems which can help people. You can see the person in the middle of the picture, the middle picture. I'm in the black dress. The person in the red is Dr. Samdu Chetri. Dr. Chetri is the first executive director. He was the founder executive director of the Gross National Happiness Center at Bhutan, one of its kind in the entire globe. He's one of the most respected figures in the world in the domain of the science of happiness. I had the privilege to work with him and also conducted few workshops alongside. And in the first workshop itself, these were his words for me. These are like gold for me. I was so humbled by these wonderful words by Dr. Chetri, where he said that Sandip is a great teacher of happiness and mindfulness. I witnessed his teaching at Netherhat, the place where we conducted the first workshop, and was not only impressed, but learned from him. And from that time onwards, I worked and I quit my job. I started my own organization with a mission that we will spread this super powerful knowledge to people who can help themselves and help others to make themselves happy. And that's the journey. That's what has been taken further. Now more than probably 15,000 people have attended the online workshops, and they have immensely benefited by this. And that's the journey. And reason was the tiger, when it let me understand the life is very uncertain. There are some mystical things around as well. At the same time, mind can be your savior. Mind can also make you dreadful, make your life miserable. Yeah. So having said that, was it interesting and inspiring? Just right. Yeah. I still, when I remember that story, I have goosebumps. That moment was so scary for me. And it was also life-changing for me. I came back to New Delhi, and I remember I went to a bookstore called Crosswords on one day. In 2008, I bought books worth of 36,000, 105 books, I remember. All the books I found on mind, psychology, and spirituality, I just bought. The crossword fellow asked me, "Are you buying this for a library?" I said, "No, I'm for reading. I'm taking this for reading." And in that year itself, from 2008 November till 2009 November, I read 66 books. So that was a life-changing moment for me. Now, having said that, coming back to our course, let's quickly have a look at our course outline. What are we going to do? How the system is designed, and what way we can help ourselves. First, today, we are going to look at our mind and certain thing which we will call human trap. What is it that is causing the problem in the mind? So it's an exploratory awareness. We need to understand why I'm unhappy. That's what we are going to look at through a framework called human trap. And at the end of the day, also, we will go for one very interesting practice, which I'll guide you through, and we'll see how powerful that can be. Now, moving on to the next day, tomorrow, we are going to understand a little more about our mind and understand how the brain mediates the mind, but not from the biological point of view, not from physiology of the brain. We'll understand from our experience of the mind. That's what we will be doing tomorrow. And tomorrow, we are unfolding something called the miracle formula. And that formula is going to give us the key to happiness, the key to the happiness. Miracle formula is the key to the happiness. That's what we'll learn tomorrow. And day after, it's all about implementation, how we can take these learnings. And I have mentioned a wonderful line there: auditing the mind and editing the mind. Audit means we have to see where the problems are, which are making us unhappy, and how to edit them, how to change them, so that those things are not making us unhappy again. Also, we'll be sharing a roadmap with you, a template with you, which will help you understand or help you take it further to make your life better and happier. Is it clear? I want all of you to understand it very clearly, how we are going to go through this journey. If it is very clear, write CC, meaning crystal clear. Have to have a clarity of the entire structure of the program. First day, we are going to understand the problem, where the problem is. Why are we unhappy? Through a framework, we'll understand that. Tomorrow, we are going to find out mind and the key, that is a miracle formula. And day after tomorrow, we are going to see how we can apply. This is the 3-step. Yeah. Clear, crystal clear. Great. Wonderful. Now we are going to also share all the bonuses on day 3. Day 3 session will be longer. Today and tomorrow, it will be probably 60 minutes to 70 minutes, or maybe maximum 75 minutes. Maximum up to 8:45 will go today and tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, the duration of the session will be more because of 2 reasons. One, we have an advanced program, and for that program, some people may intend to join us. It's purely voluntary. If you want to join us, we will express or share what exactly is that program and how we can join, give you an offer so that you can join us. That's one. Second, we will have question and answer. Any question, anything that you have, please do share with us. We will try to also address that on that day, on day 3. So about 30 minutes extra time will be taken on day 3. It will continue roughly about 9:15, maybe 9 to 9:15. That will be the duration of day 3. And bonuses, including the book, we will be sharing on day 3. Yeah. So please do attend all the live sessions, please. So moving on further, I have this statement that our responses vary, meaning same problem, same challenge, same difficulty around 2 individuals. One person is absolutely calm and responding in a very matured manner, very composed and not disturbed. Whereas another person who is agitated, he's angry, he's losing his composure, unable to even address appropriately or respond to the situation appropriately, and internally boiling, torn from inside. Do you agree with this? If agree, just write A. That means 2 individuals, same situation. One person is disturbed, one person is calm and responding appropriately. Other person is disturbed, unable to even respond to the situations appropriately. Just write A if you agree with this. Yeah. In fact, Science of Happiness tries to figure out this. Why? What are those elements which differentiate this? What are those elements in person A who is calm, person B who is restless and angry and internally so disturbed, anxious, stressed, depressed? Why? Why? What is the problem? That's what Science of Happiness tries to figure out. And taking it a little further, in this session, we are going to look at not even 2 different individuals, same person, under the same challenge with 2 different mindsets can have 2 different response and experience. Meaning, when you are agitated, sometimes like the same situation, one time you are responding very comfortably, another time you are very agitated, you're angry, and you are internally so disturbed. Do you agree with this? Say yes. It happens. Say yes. Just write Y. Y means yes. Yeah. The same individual, 2 different situations, we are handling in a very different way. Yeah. Great. Example, I just shared that. Same Jim Corbett National Park, me, my son, stranded in the jungle with a tiger around. One state, I would have lost my cool. I was feeling nauseated. I was feeling like trembling and falling down, almost like losing everything, end of life. The very next moment, I was calm. I said, I will take charge, control, how to behave, how to respond, what to do. Things changed. The same individual with 2 states of mind can create completely 2 different expression, 2 different experience inside. Yeah. Does it make sense? Just write MS. Makes sense. The same individual, 2 different set of mind. So it is all about how we can manage, handle, train our mind to be happy. That's what we're going to look at. Yeah, make sense? Fantastic. Brilliant. Having said that, now we are going to get to some serious stuff for happiness. You would be wondering, happiness and serious stuff? Yes, absolutely. we are going to get into the understanding why we are not happy. What is it that is causing unhappiness? And it is because of certain internal aspect of the mind. And to loosely understand mind, brain mediates mind, let's say. And this framework is based on researched neuroscientific processes or neuroscience with more than 500 different research papers, which is known as human trap. For this, I would urge all of you need to have a notebook and pen with you beside you. So whenever you find something which is of interest, something of use, please do. Just let me check whether we are recording it or not. Yeah, we are recording. So please ensure that you are with all attention, all awareness, all your presence, you are with me during this discussion. Are you all ready? Just write ready to go, RTG. I want all of you to be ready for the next around 30-35 minutes. We are all paying all our attention to understand this. This understanding alone can do a lot of good to ourselves. Awareness is power. And we are now understanding what is it that is causing unhappiness. That's what we are going to look at. And we can also figure out what is that. Yeah. All ready to go? Brilliant. Let's get on. Human trap is actually an acronym. HUMANE. Each of these letters, they're representing one aspect of our internal mind context, which is leading to unhappiness. And that context is not necessarily inside. It is drawing something from outside and making us unhappy. That's what we'll understand. And we will get there and see how we are suffering in all those. But something is making us more unhappy. That's what we are going to explore. Now, H. First one is known as holding on trap. Holding on trap. Please do write in your notebook, holding on trap. I'll explain what exactly is this. Holding on trap is suffering from the past negative memories. We are suffering because of the past negative memories. Something happened in the past. There is a chunk of memory which has been there in my mind. I am going back to that memory, bringing into the present moment and suffering in that, churning that memory, making my life horrible and miserable. Example, yesterday my boss scolded me in the office. That is creating so much of agony. I'm suffering in that today. I lost a promotion, let's say 6 months ago. Somebody else got a promotion, I missed out. That memory is coming again and again and making me feel horrible. I lost some of my near dear ones way back, maybe 5 years ago. Still, that is causing agony and misery in me. Let me give you a real life example. In one of my workshops, one gentleman, Tripathi, during the tea break, he came to me and said that Sandip is a very senior official in a corporate. He said, Sandip, I have been suffering because of the holding on trap for last 20 years. Reason? 20 years ago, I cracked the UPSC examination, the IAS examination, right? He cracked it. He got into the interview. In the interview board, he was doing exceedingly well for the first 30 minutes. It was a long interview because he was doing pretty good. Towards the last 5 minutes, something happened and everything went haywire. The chairman of the interview board asked something and he responded. Then it became an argument, so much so that he lost his control and virtually he abused the person. And the chairman said, we are just checking your psychological presence or preparedness for this job. I'm sorry, Mr. Tripathi, you are not fit for this job, so we are rejecting you. And Tripathi got a shock, and that shock continued for entire 20 years period. When he was talking to me, he was in tears. He said, Sandip, every morning I get up with this thought, I lost. What a brilliant opportunity I lost. That was human holding on trap where he was suffering. And there are many. You are remembering somebody's behavior. You are remembering somebody cheated you. You are remembering you lost out because of your own fault, a guilt which is coming again, and again, and making you feel horrible in your life. There may be some reason. There are actually something which is causing that kind of agony, but can we come out of it? Absolutely, yes. Tripathi came out of it. I'll explain how he came out of it on day 3. What I did with him, what I told him, how I helped him, and he became exceptionally happy. And I think now he's the CEO of a company, Chief Operating Officer. But this is what is holding on trap. Holding on trap can make our life miserable. HMLM. Holding on trap makes life miserable. If you understood what I actually meant by this, if you can resonate with this, that there are actually neural pathways which lead to this. There are certain neural circuits which actually activate this. So HMLM makes life miserable. H makes life miserable. If you understood this, just write HMLM. Lovely. Many of us, we can resonate with all our negative thoughts of the past coming again and again. Sometimes it is near past, sometimes very past, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah. I presume all of you got this. Very important you understand this. Very, very important. You need to understand each of these traps. One is we are going back, bringing a past memory. That is what is running in the present and making us suffer, holding on trap, right? Great. Now the next one, uncertainty trap. Uncertainty. It's almost like mirror image of the holding on trap. Meaning, what is holding on trap? Past we are bringing to the present and suffering in that. Uncertainty trap is in the present moment, I am projecting a negative future and suffering in that. In the present moment, I'm thinking, will I lose my job? Will my boss give me a bad rating? Will I have disease? Will I die? What will happen to my family? Would I lose money in the stock market? Will I fail in the examination? All these thoughts. What will happen tomorrow? Tomorrow there is a presentation, I'll make a mess of things, and today I'm having anxiety. There may not be anything, I'm still feeling tomorrow would be dreadful for me, and I'm having anxiety and worry and whatnot. In the last 2 years, 2.5 years, I've been working with more than so many people, 2,000, 2,500 people who had corona, and I have seen this uncertainty trap at its peak, probably the most prevalent trap. Many people having anxiety because of this. Internally, something is happening. They're just fearing the future, projecting a negative future. I will die. This will happen. I will have disease. I lose my job, lose money. All those things, all negative projections are happening. We will see some of them are, maybe there is a reality to this, but many times there is no reality. Both we can handle. Whether there is a reality, yes, I'm having a challenge. There is a possibility that I lose my job because of bad economic condition. I have to do something for that. But nothing I'm worried and having anxiety. I have to do a very different thing for that. Both are to be handled, and they can be handled most appropriately. That's what we are going to learn in this. Uncertainty trap actually does a very terrible thing to us. What it does? It creates our future miserable. It creates a horrible future. CHF. What it does? Creates a horrible future. UCHF. Why? Because the moment we think that next day will be bad, and bad, our mind stops functioning. It actually does a bad thing and we get a bad result. I'll do a bad thing or I'll do badly in the examination. Again, my mind doesn't work. I cannot study. I'll do hopelessly in the examination. Same thing happens with everything. If we are actually doing this, we are creating a hopeless future. So UCHF, it creates a hopeless future, horrible future. So please do write that if you understood what I mean. We have to handle this. Unless we are By this, we are also affecting our immunity. Our immune systems get affected. Our mind stops functioning appropriately. All this digestive system, everything, our circulatory system, heart, every organ will be having difficulty if we are not handling it properly. And it will create a horrible future. Yeah, you see HF? Right, wonderful. I guess you are getting and understanding what I am hinting towards. The next one is what we call me and my relationship trap. Me and my relationship trap. One was about past, one was about future, and this is about the present relationships that I have. What is happening there? People ask me, relationship? You are talking about a network in the brain. Where from relationship come? Actually, there are a lot of things happen in the brain when relationships, they come into the dynamics. So that probably we'll discuss sometime in the day 3. But yes, there are circuitries inside which cause that agony and misery. And I say, in relationships, only in 3 dimensions we suffer. 3 dimensions in relationships we suffer. The first one is, it's called suffering in loving relationships. Again, people many times ask, what? Loving relationships and you are saying suffering? Yes, sir, absolutely. In loving relationships, we love our children, we love our parents, we love our spouse, husband or wife, we love our friends. How much suffering? I expect something from my child and he doesn't do, and I'm suffering, shouting, fighting, and all these things happen. With spouse, better not to discuss much on that. We love, but so much of fighting. With parents, with in-laws, so many fights that goes on in the loving domain. You ask, so are you cursing him for a bad thing? Oh, no. I want the best thing to happen to my child. But still you are suffering in that? Yes. We suffer in loving relationships. Suffering in loving relationship is one dimension. We need to handle it in a very different way. The second one, suffering in hateful relationships. What does it mean? Hateful relationships would mean that I have hatred for somebody. I hate my boss, a nagging and control freak, narcissist boss. He has made my life hell. I want him to go away. Some people even curse their boss to die. Somebody was saying, I want him to die. So to that extent, they hate some people. And there is a suffering. Every time they think about the person, there is a suffering. Heart rate goes up internally, they boil inside, suffering inside. So suffering in loving relationships, suffering in hateful relationships. And finally, we suffer in lost relationships. We lose some people in our life. Somebody has passed away. There is a breakup. Or sometime in later part, many people who are very elderly who join me, and they are suffering because their children are abroad, staying maybe in some other country or at a distant place and having no contact, or rarely they talk to each other. The relationship almost is snapped because they are engaged in their job, in the family, and no time for the parents. So that is a lost relationship where they suffer. Some people during the Corona time, there's so many people who lost their near and dear ones still suffering because of that loss. So in relationships, we suffer in 3 dimensions: loving relationship, hateful relationships, and lost relationships. If you understood what I meant to say, just write LHL, LHL, meaning loving, hateful, and lost relationships. If you understood, if you resonate with what I said and it is making sense to you, just write LHL. Need to understand this with crystal clear mind so that we can work on tomorrow and day after. Yeah. Great. So far, are we understanding? Are you getting value? Is it giving some clarity? How is this session so far? Are you getting something which is of essence, some value? Just write value. Just write V if it is valuable to you. Just write V if you're finding it's valuable. Yeah. Now we are only exploring why we are unhappy. What is it that is making us suffer? What is it? It is our awareness which will make us free. Awareness brings light. The moment we are bringing awareness, we are making ourselves free. The darkness is removed. We are removing that darkness of unhappiness in the mind. Yeah, that's what we are doing here. Wonderful. Great. Moving on to the next one, we call it the autonomy trap. Autonomy trap here is something very interesting. Many of us, we would understand that. Autonomy is freedom. Our freedom is being snatched away. What exactly is it meaning? I do not have time for myself. I do not have time for what I want to do. I do not have money, time, and all those freedom that I need. What I want is not with me. No time for family, no time for going on holidays. I am just running and running and running, and life is just getting as if getting exhausted. That's what autonomy trap is all about. Our responsibility is so overwhelming that I am not having time for myself. My freedom as if has been snatched away. People who are working in corporate, even homemakers, housewives, house husbands, even people who are in business or in government jobs, I have seen their life struggling and struggling, no time. They do something which they dislike or they don't want to do. Their freedom is not there. Time is not there for themselves and for their family or what they want to do in life. And this is what we call the autonomy trap. This again, the major reasons for stress. Again, a neuropathways is responsible for that. Multiple neuropathways. It is giving us a sense of imprisonment. I'm not doing a job as if I'm a slave of my job. That sense of slavery, I'm as if I'm imprisoned, confined. I don't have something that I want to do this and that this I'll do. I don't have that choice. Lack of choices. This leads to stress to high levels. Many of the psychosomatic diseases, including blood pressure, sugar, all these are reasons for this. We do not have time for ourselves. There are issues of financial freedom, running after money because I have to sustain myself. My job is just, I'm like as if I'm a hostage of my job. So all these things are what we call autonomy trap. Look at a housewife, morning to evening, no time, so many things, multitasking. And that also causes a lot of challenge in the mind. And this is what we call autonomy trap. So autonomy trap, essentially understanding it is autonomy trap. It snatches away freedom. ASF, you can just write ASF, you understand this. Our freedom is gone. We are feeling as if we are trapped, we are imprisoned. Yeah? ASF, and this causes a lot of stress. But there are ways and means that we can come out of this. We have to work out in a way so that we also get time for things that we want to do and we love to do. Then we'll see that how we can also manage other things as well. Yeah. Brilliant. Now coming to the next one. So far, I believe all of you are in tune with me on the same page, same platform. We are understanding together, looking at your chat, looking at your response. I'm sensing that all of you are getting what I'm trying to convey. Please do take notes of this as well. Now moving on. This is a big issue. We call it name, fame, status trap. Name, fame, and status trap. What does it mean? All of us, we have an urge to have a social status. We want to be acknowledged, respected, loved, and people should say, you are good, you are fantastic, fabulous, and all the stuff. It sounds good, but this is a huge trap for our unhappiness. Our life gets hopelessly miserable because of this trap, to the extreme extent. Sometimes I say this is the most prominent trap, most paramount kind of a trap. I also call it the identity trap. Let me give an example, very hopeless, miserable example to explain you what exactly does it mean. The example is sometimes on newspaper or in news channels, we see that somebody exceptional, brilliant child in a very prominent institute, in probably one of the premier institutes of the country like IIT, AIMS, or Indian Institute of Sciences, has committed suicide. Why? Brilliant fellow, what has happened? It's not easy to get into such institute, but committed suicide? Why? What for? If you look at the background of this child, you will see that right from the childhood, he or she has been exceptional. Everyone around would say, oh, brilliant. His mind is exceptional, bright chap. Teachers, friends, relatives, family members, parents, neighbors, everyone would say that. Look at that child, exceptional. Now, she also cracks and gets into a brilliant institute. But suddenly everything changes. The dynamics change because he is now normal. Everyone around is the same. No more the differentiation of exceptional, brilliant, and outstanding. And then sometimes even the professor, he says, are you a buffoon? Are you a fool? You don't have a brain. Suddenly, that identity of being exceptional, outstanding, brilliant, and bright has crashed. To fool, buffoon, doesn't have a brain. That identity crashing is almost like death of an identity. Death of an identity. The brain almost responds like death, signaling depression, no sense of motivation, even suicidal ideas. Unfortunately, people have not been taught how to handle this. Nowhere in our curriculum, this has been explained, shared, taught to people, taught to children, how to handle this disparity, this identity. That's what is name, fame, identity, status, position, trap. So many of us, we are in this jealousy. Oh, he has gone ahead. That means I have become small. Feeling that smallness, lack of worthiness is what the trap is. Identity trap. I say identity is paramount, most important. Paramount means most important. If you can handle this, I think 70% of things are sorted out. Just write IIP, identity is paramount. If you understand what I mentioned by this, what I meant by this trap is something which needs to be handled, and then we can see life can be beautiful around us. Yeah. Great. Lovely. Now getting on to the last trap, the final trap, which we call as equality and unfairness trap. Unfair, injustice with me. It happens, you slog the entire year and suddenly somebody else got the promotion because he was close to the boss, or somebody else got because he has some connection somewhere. You studied so hard, but in the examination, somebody copied and maybe scored more than you. Injustice. And that can be terrible. Many times we see that injustice is happening, unfairness is happening. I have not been given adequate recognition that I deserve. Somebody else is getting. I did everything. Recently, I was talking to a scientist. He was under terrible, tremendous depression. The reason when I asked, I was also feeling so bad for him. He did an exceptional research and given it to his guide for some suggestion. It was so brilliant. The guide, he was a crooked fellow, and he said that I have done it, and he took all the praise and he got some reward. And this research, the guide was not very old, maybe a couple of years older than him. And he was feeling so dejected by this, unfair, cheated by this. So this is something which is easier said, but not easy to handle. In one of my own experience, I was a few years ago, I was standing in a queue and for booking a ticket. And that was very slow moving queue. It was not moving properly, very slow. In like 15 minutes, maybe less than 2 feet. Suddenly we found somebody very powerful with 2 bodyguards. He chose just to violate the queue and he went straightway to the counter, asked for the tickets and got away with it, took the tickets and went away. I was fuming and boiling inside. What nonsense. This is injustice. This is unfair. This country, nothing will happen. Internally, I was fuming. Suddenly I realized, what am I doing? What am I doing? The person has gone away, taken the advantage and gone away. I could not protest because of obvious reason. I didn't want to get into that mud. No courage also. But now why I am hurting myself further? Why I'm cursing myself? I am doing double, harm to myself. I quickly recalled and reminded me of something, that sometime in my life also, I take advantage of somebody because of maybe proximity to somebody in some office. I just ask for some favor and he obliges. Then I never say it is unfair, oh, injustice. I say, oh, I'm so fortunate and lucky, so I got it. That day I told myself, then I said, oh, okay, it happens. But let me tell you, sometimes in life, this is not as easy to handle. Some injustice, something, it can continue and it can hurt you like crazy. So how to handle that? We'll see that. We'll look at those things tomorrow. But so far, we understood the entire human trap, 6 different aspects. I did not take you to the brain physiology. I just given you experiences, examples, so that we can appreciate and understand this. If you understood this, just mention HUMANE in the chat box. Human trap. Yeah, just write human if you understood this. And today we have a task. Today we have a task. The trap that we discussed is just not for intellectual appreciation and consumption. It is for application. Today, we'll be sharing a framework with you, rather this framework with you, a link with you, wherein you have to figure it out, which is the most predominant trap which is causing difficulty in your life. Let me tell you, all the traps may cause difficulty in you. Every trap. Sometimes, for ease of understanding, let me explain. I was explaining it to somebody very recently. The same example, he lost his promotion because of somebody else who was close to the boss. So he was having injustice. That was the first trap. Unfair, somebody else got promotion. I was the deserving candidate. Unfairness trap. Next, since his colleague, he was little junior to him, he got promoted. So status trap, his status came down. For the same thing, status also came down. Then he was also reporting to that fellow. So his autonomy was taken by him. Now the person who was junior to him is now commanding on him, and was very, very, very nagging kind of a fellow. And so his autonomy trap also came. Then he was having relationship got disturbed in the whole office. Everyone was having, he started his boss, and now his boss's boss, who actually made the other fellow promoted. All these things happened. He was also having uncertainty, what will happen tomorrow, and remembering how the promotion happened. All the 6 traps he was suffering. He said, all the 6 traps. I said, find out what is the predominant one. You need to find out what is the predominant one. That's what is awareness. I'm suffering. Then he could find out it is about his status. It is about his status. He is now feeling so small and low. The moment he's going to office, he's feeling like a slave status. Yeah. So similarly, you have to find out which one is the trap which is causing maximum agony, maximum problem, maximum misery in your life. Yeah. And this will be available to you in a link. So in that link, you just need to click and use it. Now, coming to our journey, let me remind you, we are here for a journey, not for just understanding something. We want to change ourselves. I want all of you to change yourself. And this can only and only happen if you are committed. I can give you all the things that I know, and still nothing may happen. No change may happen in your life if you are not committed. Your commitment to yourself is the essence for this journey, where you can manifest your happiest version. You can overcome your anxiety. Hundreds of people, somebody was asking a question probably in the chat box, that can medical condition be cured? There are hundreds of such cases in my own community where people have come out of OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, come out of anxiety disorder, come out of depression, but they were committed. They said, come what may, we'll come out of it. That's the only reason. When I gave them what to do, shared the exact techniques they need to follow, they followed it, and they were committed and followed it for a time period. It doesn't happen in one day. Let me be very, very upfront, very blunt. It's not going to happen today, I tell you, and tomorrow you are cured. No magic. This is science, systematic and simple. Scientific, systematic and simple process we are taking you through. It will happen very fast, but not in one day. It may take a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but it will happen. You will see the changes happening in your mind in first week itself if you are going through the process properly. But you have to do it. It cannot otherwise happen. You are to take charge. If you are with me on this, just first of all, write, I see, I commit. I commit means you will do what I'm suggesting you to do. And that's what is commitment. I'm giving you some task every day. Please do that task. You may be thinking why this task will help me or not. As of now, you need to have little trust, because I have worked with more than 10,000 people who have been benefited. If you trust me, just follow the commitments, just follow the steps, and that can give you immense benefit. And that's what I urge all of you to do. That change in you we want. So task, as I said, we'll take you through a task right here in this session. What is the task? The task is, all of us, let's come on camera first. Let's come on camera. All of us, let's open our camera and be on the camera. So that's what is we need all of us to be camera on. So I can take also a snapshot of this. We'll share in the group, and maybe with a smiling face. All of you, please do come on camera with a smiling face, so we all look so good. Yeah, once more. There are few more times I have to take because I have to swipe to different pages. Please do come on camera so that I can take your photograph, and you can have this as a memoir. As yeah. So yeah, that's one. Good. Thank you very much for coming on cam. Now, coming to the next step, what we'll do right here, right now is, we'll take a plain paper, a simple plain paper. On that paper, just in few bullet points, write down the challenges, the pain, agony that we're going through at this moment in time. I'm not talking about what happened and you remind yourself of some misery of the past and write it down. Don't overwhelm me with that. In present moment, whatever in yesterday, today, maybe in this week, whatever has been troubling you, why you have been suffering, maybe anxiety, maybe stress, whatever it is, just write it down in 1 or 2 sentences. Yeah. You can write it maybe 2-3 things, maybe some relationship issues, maybe some issues because of office politics, maybe some issues because of your health. Just write them down. And if you can, in the bracket, you can put the trap that will give you an additional idea about what trap it is from. If you can just do that. In a paper, piece of paper. After completing this, writing this, just get a bowl, means a glass or a ceramic bowl, or a thing which will not burn. Yeah? So please do get that. I will explain the science behind this practice on day after tomorrow. Scientifically, I'll explain why this works so magically and how it changes the mind's orientation altogether. Get a ball and get a matchbox. Keep the ball in front of you. With all safety precaution, switch off the fans and other things so that the paper and the fire should not fly. Put that paper inside that ball. And you need to lit it up, burn that paper. When you are burning that paper, I'm just explaining so that at your own pace you'll do it. You have to sit straight, looking at that burning paper, feeling inside that I have destroyed my sufferings today. Just feel it inside. I have destroyed my sufferings today. What you're doing, that paper where you have put your agony, misery, and sufferings. You're putting that paper in the bowl, lighting it up, burning that paper, and watching it burn, and saying in your mind, feeling that I have destroyed my sufferings today. Just do that. And take a click of that fire using your mobile phone. If you cannot do it, you can do it later as well, but better you do it right now in the call. If you're having difficulty in firing something in a place, maybe you may be in a hotel or somewhere you cannot fire a matchbox or lit up a matchbox. Otherwise, you can tear it up completely and put inside that ball and put in a water place where there is flowing water. Yeah. Maybe in a sink or flush it out. You can do something. You can do that as well. Yeah. Right. Now, I'll explain, as I said, on day 3, what exactly happens. Most important thing, you should feel that when you are saying, I have destroyed my sufferings today, your feelings should be in alignment with the thought that you're bringing in. You are feeling that the sufferings are destroyed. And please do that, right? Yes. So now, as we have come to almost like the last part of the session. Now, how was the session? Did you get some value? Was it of sense? Could you relate with your life? Was there something which you find, yes, this is what is happening? It is more about your awareness. I am talking about you knowing your thing, what is causing that. Yeah. Situations are happening, but something happening inside because of the human trap. Another person is not suffering because the trap in his mind is different than yours. Yeah. So, right, just right. If you found value in the session, super value in the session, right? SV, but in value, it means that you can get value by application. I want you to apply this. Here, the application is about your awareness about your suffering, whether it is suffering in the relationship, LHL, or is holding on trap, or is it the name, fame, status trap, or unfairness, what it is. Just right. Yeah, great. So my whole request is we have to apply this. Now today's task could be, you will find it out yourself, what is the trap which is causing the problem. Now, once you identify the trap, you are in a position to handle it much, much in a better way. So that trap you have to find out. We'll be sharing a link. Please do that. And as I mentioned, it is your commitment which is paramount. Your commitment is paramount. You have to do this. I can only guide you through this. This you have done. And now, to reward your commitment, I have another gift. If you want gift, please write GIFT, gift. I want to give you a gift. If you are committed through all the 3 days, I'll give you a very special gift. And the gift is, all those who are completing all the tasks will be checking it. It will not be given otherwise. If all of you are completing all the tasks, you will receive another book, not just one book that I have mentioned earlier. This book is my first book. It's a powerful fiction about mind and about spirituality and neuroscience. It has helped many people to change their quality of life. It's called E-State of the Devas. So this will be given to those who are committed, who are going to do the tasks every day without fail. So today's tasks will be sharing in the group. The group will be opened. You have to do the task. What is the task today? You have already taken the click of the burning bowl, and that burning bowl, that picture you'll be sharing in the group. And the caption would be, I have destroyed my sufferings today. I have destroyed my sufferings today. This is the caption. We'll be sharing the detail of the task in the group as well. And next, you will also be doing one more thing. The template that we have shared, where what is human trap has been written on the left side. On the right side, you have to find out which is your predominant task trap. You have to number it. Out of 10, what is the number of your trap, and which is the predominant trap? That's what you have to figure out. Again, you have to take a screenshot of that and share in the group. If you cannot do it in the link provided, you can do it on a piece of paper, take a photograph and share in the group. But this has to be done if you want to claim this gift. And every day we'll be giving you a task or 2 tasks at best. Please do follow that. And we are going to share this on day 3 after checking that you have submitted. And more than that, more than for the gift, please do it for yourself. That's my sincere request. Please take charge of your life. If you are not taking charge of your life, nobody else would care. Your happiness is your responsibility, your right. So please do take charge, be committed, and I'm sure all of us, we can really, really change our life through this. And having said that, it's almost, as I said, 75 minutes, 70 minutes we are done with. Now I have one more question to ask. Would you like to have the recording of today's session? If yes, just mention yes, yes. Why? I want you to go through it again. Reason why I'm saying yes, yes, because it's not just that I'm sharing with you. I want to go through it again. Please go through it again, because completely go through it again. You need to allow this to sink in. You have to be very conversant with this. You have to be a master of understanding human trap, master of this. So that clarity can change a lot of things inside you. So please do go through the video. I'll be sharing a YouTube link. Yeah, this very record will be there on YouTube. I'll be sharing that link. I would urge you all to please also subscribe to the channel, because you'll get many other valuable content on that. It can be immense help to you in future. Many things are there already available, and many things are coming up. So please don't miss that opportunity. Please do subscribe to the channel. And that's also one of the tasks. So please do subscribe to the channel and go through the video. Why I want you to go through the video? Reason being, you have to master this. You have to understand this. Allow it to sink in. Yeah. So thank you very much. And really loved your presence, loved your participation, your engagement all through. Almost everyone is there. That's so heartening to see. And with that, before we conclude the session, one more small thing. Let's all come on camera with a smile, and also let's pray for the entire humanity, every creature, everyone, so that everyone be happy on this planet. Let's pray for that, and prayer has a lot of power. Let's also see that in our life, we'll try to make more and more people happy around us. And that itself is a mantra for happiness also. Let's pray for the entire globe. A lot of difficulties people are facing, difficult time also we are going through. So with that thought, with that prayer, let's pray for each other, pray for the entire population, entire globe, entire humanity. With that thought, let's close the session and look forward to see you at 7:30 tomorrow. Just in one word, how was the session? If you can give me a feedback, and that will be great if I can have a feedback. How was the overall session and how did you like it? Yeah, excellent. I can see superb. Bindraji is saying superb, fantastic, amazing, good. Very good, great session. Yeah, this session I can speak in Hindi. Your question when you ask, I can do that. But as we have advertised, this is in English. Many people do not understand Hindi. That's the reason why we are using English only here. Yes, certainly in your question, when you interact on day 3, Hindi would be allowed, and I'll speak in Hindi as well. Wonderful session. Thank you. Amazing. Great. Very informative, addressing the core issues. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your wonderful words. And take care. God bless all of us. And tomorrow again, we'll meet at 7:30.